All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time for the podcast to go live. I am currently finalizing a couple updates that I just got at the gun for people to work on their final bits of their roster. So that being said, let me double check. I was going to delay the start, but I want to get the start done sooner than later. So I was going to delay it just by a moment just to see um, the overall bids and what have you. And I think I pretty much have everything in place, so I won't have to do too much waiting. I just need to double check a couple teams that came in here at the gun with their information, and then I'll be able to make what announcements I need to make. Let's see. I'm looking for. There we go. Got the file up. Okay. Let me see here. All right. Let me open up the website as well so I can make sure that I can follow everything along with what I'm doing and what I'm not doing. Let's see. I'm pretty much going to let you guys know who was awarded what player. I'm just going to let you know what tier they're going at, and the other information will come in later, if you will, when they set their team up, once they get it all taken care of. So that's what I'm currently, like I said, working on now, making sure I have everything correct before I go here on the air and say the wrong thing. It's been a busy day where I'd already have this done. Uh, so you just have to bear with me while I do this. Yes, okay. Yeah, like I said, I got like 3-4 teams here. It came in right at the last second. So let me know what they wanted, and I'm writing it down to make sure I know where they're at, and I award to the proper people. So it's been a busy day. Let's put it that way. And I'm just having a blast doing this. So, and I mean that. I mean, I really do. It's been a blast. So, we got one team that's going to pretty much fill their roster here tonight, and they were short several players, believe it or not, and they're going to fill their roster, which is nice for them. So that's good. I'm still getting messages here at the end. Okay. Yeah, there's going to be some players added to the list. Okay, owners, talk to your coaches. There's a couple teams that had some space left, and I got a couple guys wanting to see what they can do or not do with the guy at the gun, and the owner had already taken care of it, so that wasn't going to help. Okay, I now have a decision on that player. Like I said, I'm writing down the final decisions on all these players. Wow. I was a little more behind than I thought I was, but that's all right. Because as long as we get it taken care of, it's going to be an eventful evening. I'm going to try my best to get these players shaded to red tonight before I head to work, because I'll be leaving for work in about an hour and a half. So let's just hope I can do that and get it all taken care of ASAP. Let me double check. I need to check this one player left. I believe. Yes. Okay. He is a lock for this team then. Okay. Yeah, a couple of these teams are filled their rosters here, as I was just saying a second ago, which is great because now they're going to completely finalize their team, which is going to help me out in getting things done and getting things organized, which is going to be an awesome thing for us because it moves me closer to finalizing everyone's roster and being able to completely build the roster file, which I actually began doing today with some of the completed teams, which is good. So these players, when I announce them, they're going to be completely out of order. I'm going through them the way in which I got them and the way in which they came across to me on the board. So, that's good. Let me see. So let's see. I'm going to give shout outs: David Yanez, Mark Chisholm, Ramos Lynn, Ed Ritter, Alex Starr, Mighty RX, Spec Poo. All these guys are here. So let's just get to the first guy here on the list. This team gave him a copper contract. Like I said, I'm not going to worry about the amount of abilities. That can be kept secret because I'm not letting anybody know that stuff. I needed to know it from my end. Happened to be the only team to bid on this player, so they got him, obviously. And going to the Tokyo Kitsune will be defensive tackle Eddie Newberry. So defensive tackle Eddie Newberry will be going to the Tokyo Kitsune. And he's putting him at the copper tier. So that's where I got to go into my site here. I'm going to be making edits on my site and putting the edits up for everyone to know. And I do have the abilities, precise abilities, Ramos, that you wanted to put on him. So you do not have to message me about that. And then, like I said, I'll be going over everybody's salary caps, making sure everybody's under cap. Plenty of teams today upgraded players, worked on their salary caps, and got everything organized. So the Tokyo Kitsune are now officially full. They now have a full roster, so congrats to them on picking up defensive tackle Eddie Newberry. All right, going to the next guy. All right, this was a tie, believe it or not. Both teams offered the same amount of abilities, the same tier. So it was X amount of abilities at the copper tier. And remember, to say it here now since we're at our first tier, our first tie, the breaking of the ties were going to be simple. It was going to be the tier. If that was a tie, we were going to the number of abilities. If the number of abilities was a tie, we were going to go to the years within the contract offer. Again, if we had a third tie, we were going to go to the draft board. So that's when the draft board was going to come in place. So it's tier, abilities, years worth in the contract, and then the draft board. That's how we were breaking the tie. So with this particular player, they got the deal done because they offered more years. And it was a 3-year deal. And again, I'll be getting all the contracts from everybody, the amount of seasons that are going to be on these guys that you just picked up in this offseason. So going to the Boston Liberty on a 3-year copper contract will be offensive tackle Roderick Moxon. So offensive tackle Roderick Moxon will be going to the Boston Liberty. And for those of you who paid attention to the draft last night, you saw Boston also take offensive guard Ben Pike. So now they've come back in free agency and picked up a second offensive lineman. I know there was talk within the Liberty that Moxon will get moved, I believe also to guard. I don't have 100% confirmation on that, but that is their right to do so if they chose to do it. I know they were waiting to see if they had him won or not. So either way, Roderick Moxon goes to the Boston Liberty. So congratulations to those guys. Yes, they just confirmed they are for sure moving him to guard. So there it is, 2 guards. We'll see what happens with these guards. I'm very curious as to what happens with linemen. Okay, on to the next guy on the draft board. This guy is getting a 1-year bronze contract. And this particular wide receiver will be going to the Philadelphia Flight, as they are going to pick up wide receiver Charlie Powers. Wide receiver Charlie Powers goes to the Philadelphia Flight on a bronze contract offer. And that will be their 4th and final bronze player for the Flight, which now gives them 3 wide receivers. So they're going with a 3 wide receiver set, which could be very interesting. So congratulations to Mr. Spec Poo and the Flight on picking up Mr. Powers. I'm actually trying to find Mr. Powers' build. Give me a moment here. Yeah, 6'3", 226. I thought he was one of the bigger guys. Possession receiver, quick feet, soft hands, tough in the middle, deep threat, breakaway burst. There's a lot of things you can make out of that player. Going to bronze, where a 5 ability max bronze player can be made. So they could get quite the player with that pickup. All right, moving along to another wide receiver. This wide receiver is going to be a bronze player, and he will be headed to Nashville, as the Nashville Nightmares will be acquiring the services of wide receiver Jason Green. Wide receiver Jason Green will go to the Nashville Nightmares. And unfortunately for Mr. Spec Poo last night, missed out on the draft in the second round, or the second day, and missed out on the opportunity to get a few players that he wanted. So this is huge for those guys to be able to acquire a wide receiver that he desperately needed for his build here in the free agency. Okay. Checking the chat, see what's going on. No discussion just yet. All right, we're going to keep continuing here. All right. We now move to this build. It'll be a 2-year deal at the copper level. The only ones to offer on this player. So acquiring the services of strong safety Scott South will be the Baltimore Bulls. So the Baltimore Bulls acquire strong safety Scott South. And as I had stated, he will be at the copper tier. Add him to their roster. Strong safety Scott South, copper tier to the Bulls. I was not surprised when I saw them come with a secondary player. And just for the record, Scott South is being moved to free safety. I want to make sure I didn't forget to mention that. So Scott South's moving to free safety. Means the Bulls have just 1 player left that they can sign. So why waste any time? And we might as well get right to it. It's a 2-year deal at the copper level. And they are picking up kicker punter Quinn Hawkins. Quinn Hawkins goes to the Baltimore Bulls. All right, so we've gotten 6 announcements so far. I'm just going to quickly recap all those. Kicker punter Quinn Hawkins to the Baltimore Bulls. Strong safety Scott South to the Baltimore Bulls, being moved to free safety. Wide receiver Jason Green going to the Nashville Nightmares. Wide receiver Charlie Powers going to the Philadelphia Flight. Offensive tackle Roderick Moxon is going to the Boston Liberty. And he'll be moving to guard, and defensive tackle Eddie Newberry will be going to the Tokyo Kitsune. Now we get to move along here. All right. Strong safety E.J. McAllister is getting a 1-year bronze contract that was given to him by the Nashville Nightmares. So the Nashville Nightmares strike again, landing a desperately needed player, and this time in a strong safety. I have to correct that. That's a copper tier. I said strong safety at the bronze tier, but that is a... No, wait. No, I was right. I said it right to begin with. I'm sorry. Yeah, bronze tier, strong safety. Okay. Looking at the wrong team for a second. Awesome. So now they got a strong safety and a wide receiver, both added to the bronze tier here today. All right. Moving along. Free safety. Nick Alvarez got a 3-year deal at the silver level. 3-year deal at the silver level, which is one of the highest contracts, and I think it might be the highest contract that's going to come off today. And then it was changed. I'm sorry, it was changed into the bronze tier. That's correct. It was changed to the bronze level. And it will be going to the Denver Yeti. Free safety, Nick Alvarez to the Denver Yeti. My apologies for saying that wrong. There's some talk in the chat room. They're wondering why the Boston Liberty want to go with 2 offensive linemen. If it works, it's going to be a great upgrade to a running game, maybe protecting the quarterback. Will it work in the IFL? We don't know, and the Boston Liberty have just made themselves the guinea pigs to find out. So I wish them the best of luck with it. All right. Moving along. The Nashville Nightmares strike again, getting a 1-year copper player in free safety, Jamal Golden. Free safety, Jamal Golden to the Nashville Nightmares at the copper level. All right. Moving along. We're going to keep moving along. All right. A 2-year copper deal has been struck by the Denver Yeti, who will be acquiring defensive end Brian Hawkins. Defensive end Brian Hawkins. And not to be outdone by Mr. Brian Hawkins, they gave the same 2-year copper deal to defensive end Chris Cook. So 2 defensive ends go back-to-back here to Denver. Pick up Brian Hawkins and Chris Cook. So 2 copper defensive ends. And to make sure they've solidified their defense, a 2-year copper deal was also given to outside linebacker Joseph Smith. So Denver lands 4 players here today, all 4 on the defense, supporting the defense, which is not surprising considering their owner, Mark Chisholm, is a defensive coach, and defensive-minded coach within the leagues. So he's got a free safety, a defensive end, and an outside linebacker, all scoring all 4 of them today. And then that will round out his team. So he will have his entire roster now full, and they'll be locked and ready to go. So congratulations to the Denver Yeti in pulling that one off. Let me put Mr. Jamal Golden. I need to add him quickly to Nashville before I forget. And I still have a few more players to get to, so just bear with me as I'm bouncing around here. Okay, make sure I put guys in the right spot too. That'd be nice. Okay. All right, let's move along. Move along, move along. I'm just going to go team by team now with the actual signings that they made so everyone is aware. The Green Bay Grizzlies were able to acquire the services of defensive end J.J. Smallwood, and he will be playing a copper tier. Another defensive lineman coming off the board, which is just holy smokes. I didn't know we were going to get this many defensive linemen in the league this season, but I have to say I'm rather excited to see how it works. Okay. Yes, that was it for the Grizzlies. J.J. Smallwood. Okay. We then have the Bulldogs, San Diego Bulldogs, at the copper tier, wide receiver Desi Watkins. Wide receiver Desi Watkins at the copper tier for the Bulldogs. And they also picked up at the bronze tier inside linebacker Melvin Spurlock. He still has a hole or two that he's going to need to fill. Let's see. Let me write these guys down. All right. That takes care of the Bulls. Oh, not the Bulls, the Bulldogs. All right. The Dallas Wranglers. They then also came out and found themselves a player. And they are picking up at the copper tier tight end Jack Douglas. Tight end Jack Douglas at the copper tier will go to the Wranglers. And they still have a few spots they need to fill. And then we move to the Rhinos, which is the son of Mr. Charlie Monk, which is DW6 Killer. And he was quick to fill his roster today as he scores 3 talents. And he picks up tight end Dallas Crestwood, wide receiver Pierce Waterloo, and free safety Brett Pike, all at the copper tier. So that's 3 signings by the Rhinos at the copper tier. That is tight end Dallas Crestwood, wide receiver Pierce Waterloo, and free safety Brett Pike. All right. So that's it for the free agent signings today. There are still some teams that need to pick up some players. There's still some teams on the board that should have picked up players and made no move today, which was shocking. Some guys didn't even submit an offer. I don't know what exactly they were waiting for or not waiting for. So, as I stated, you're going to have to bear with me as I go in here and update what I need to update. And hopefully I can get it done here within the next half hour to an hour. If I can't, I apologize. And all I can say is please refer to what the show just did. And I'm hoping to get it done because it's very important that I do, because it's unfair to you guys if I don't get this taken care of tonight. So, go into the chat room real quick because there's not much more left to discuss. All right. Yeah, there's not much chat. going on, guys. We're just having some conversation mostly about the lineman idea. So, all right, gentlemen, I'm going to log off of here, get this show done. I'm going to see if I'm going to go get my wife here at work. If not, then I'm going to take the time now to update the players. I will be leaving for work at about 9:45, so I basically have an hour to get this done, but I still have a few things to do around the house. It's part of being a father and a husband. So the goal is to get them all done. All I can say to you is if I don't get them done, please forgive me. You put in a bid in on a guy who's already taken, and I will send you a message as soon as I know you send me a guy that is taken if I don't get to it. So hopefully I'll get it taken care of. So, all right, day one of free agent signing after the draft is done. We'll be back here again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock to see who or who doesn't finish out their rosters and fill out their rosters. I know the team right off the top of my head, like the Wranglers, I know they need 2 more people. I think the Bulldogs need a player. I think the Assassins need a couple players. I mean, there's a couple teams out there who need players, and these are mostly expansion teams that are still looking to sign a couple players. I know a couple teams that have been around, went for talent, got beat out, and did the smart thing by not overbidding on too many players. So now they're just going to have to come back for tomorrow. So, again, we will be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock with the announcements of who gets the players between now and then. And then we're going to turn it into 12-hour intervals, which means at 8 a.m. Wednesday morning, I probably won't do a podcast because I'll be just getting in the door from work and getting my kids together. So I'll probably refer to Slack to make those announcements. And then we'll be back again at 8 o'clock on Wednesday. And if I can pull podcasts off, then I'll do it. But every 12 hours, we'll be making announcements till teams get their rosters full. So you have 24 hours tonight into tomorrow, and then we go to the 12-hour intervals to make signings. So for everybody who turned out tonight, appreciate it. To the team still looking for players, good luck. To those who finished out their rosters tonight, congratulations. Guys who just signed even a couple players but didn't fill out their rosters, congrats on getting those guys. You're ever a bit closer to finishing off your team. And I know it's hard to start building exactly what you want to, exactly what you're working with. So, all right, gentlemen, I appreciate your time. I'll be signing off here. So I'll catch your asses down the road later.